I mean, quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating new PPE, developing a vaccine, it looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about.
Well, that was a zinger. The vice presidential debate was much more civil in tone with fewer interruptions, but who really came out on top? Let's bring in Sinclair Political Commentator Ameshia Cross and member of the President's National Security Education Board, host of America First on Salem Radio, and Sinclair Media contributor, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Doc, let's start with you. This week, I don't know, USA Today, after the debate, had the clear winner, VP Pence. Your thoughts?
Well, look, it's clear that Kamala Harris had a disastrous evening. Why? Because to distract us from the appalling, arrogant behavior and the dodging of key questions on the Supreme Court, the Presidential Commission on Debate said the next debate isn't going to be in person, it's going to be virtual, and the president has said no way. So the Vice President Mike Pence was classy, brought his A game, answered the question despite constantly being interrupted by Susan Page, who many times didn't give him the full allotted 2 minutes. And Kamala Harris just came over as petulant and arrogant.
You know, Ameshia, like I said, USA Today had a poll, and it was hundreds of thousands of people. 63% or so said VP Pence won. Kamala Harris came in around 24, and then a close third was the fly.
I think that if we are to take this debate into consideration, and what we know historically is that the vice presidential debates don't really move the needle when it comes to voting, what Mike Pence came in as he did what he always does. He carries the water for President Trump in a much more poised and relatable way that is not aggressive and can be seen as endearing by some people. What Kamala Harris had to do last night was something entirely different. She had to walk that tightrope of being a woman and not appearing aggressive. She's also the first minority Black woman to be on that stage in this role. In addition to that, I think that she had to weave through a lot of her prosecutorial background, which she did well, in addition to being able to respond to questions and jabs in kind. I will say to Sebastian's point earlier, it's very interesting that there was conversation about COVID-19 and the vice president tried to take credit for or act like Biden actually took some things or lifted some things from their plan. We all know the failures of this administration. What Biden did, which Trump should have done as well, I would argue, is actually listen to the science, listen to the members of his actual task force.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's be fair about this. I think the vice president did kind of divert attention when it was on COVID-19, but also Kamala Harris. There were several times that she diverted. She was asked point blank, would they stack the court? She didn't answer that one. She basically said that she would not ban fracking when a couple of months ago she said she was absolutely banning fracking. Make a long story short, let's talk about this, the next debate. Will there be a presidential debate? Sebastian, should President Trump debate Joe Biden going forward?
I think the American people are owed what they were promised, which is 3 in-person debates. I said I love the idea that Joe Rogan, who's pretty apolitical, a bit of a libertarian, not a big fan of the president, he could host one. But the president said today he's going to have a rally instead, and good for him. The idea that they are such cowards on the left, that a man who has contracted the Chinese virus and is back in the Oval Office yesterday is more willing to actually debate this person challenging him than Biden, who wants to keep hiding in his basement. It's a disgrace, Eric. And it tells you who they are. They want to hide, just like they want to hide their decision on packing the courts, just like they want to hide everything else to do with fossil fuels, with AOC. They're cowards, Eric, pure and simple.
Ameshia.
The Presidential Debate Commission made this decision to not host a debate, not the Biden campaign. And let's be mindful that President Trump has tested positive and has gone through treatment for COVID-19. He's also brought COVID-19 back to the White House. We're seeing Joint Chiefs of Staff have to call out. We're seeing chefs have to call out. We're seeing the White House press secretary. Time and time again, this president has proven that he doesn't take COVID-19 seriously. And I personally am thankful that the debate commission made the decision that Trump should have made himself in protecting others from the virus.
Sebastian, I get that, and President Trump did say he wasn't going to do a virtual debate, but my concern is if any of these, again, I hate polls, but if any of them happen to be right, and he is trailing, this is an opportunity to change some minds, no?
First things first, let's stick to the facts. Ameshia is being dishonest. The president didn't bring COVID back to the White House. She needs to understand the First Lady never left the White House. So that's pretty shameful tactics. She has been there since she was diagnosed with the coronavirus. So the president isn't bringing anything anywhere. And in fact, the president's physician yesterday confirmed that remarkably, the president's body is already producing COVID antibodies. So this commission is biased. There is no excuse. The president will be clear of the virus next week. This is a ploy to distract from the disastrous debate yesterday that Kamala had. And at the end of the day, the American people will see through it.
Go ahead, Ameshia, you want to respond?
If Trump was actually serious about and had a policy framework he was willing to talk about, he would have done this in a virtual debate, which is at this point the safest thing to do. And I think that the American public would have appreciated it. But honestly, after the first debate debacle and him showing up like a clown, being aggressive, and basically embarrassing the American government entirely, we were making headlines all over the globe as the huge embarrassment that President Trump showed the United States to be. I'm glad there isn't another debate because we can't survive another Donald Trump fiasco.
You know, I don't know. I think I want to see that. I'm not sure which one I like better. I like the aggressive one with the presidential debate and the little bit more toned down one with the vice presidential debate. I want to see more of that. I think it's must-see TV. It's you get the popcorn ready and see where we're going to go. Before we let you guys go, I just want to make a quick comment. I watched that and I was on Twitter watching it, and there were a lot of people, Ameshia, even on the left, and a lot of women who said they didn't like the demeanor of Kamala Harris. They wanted her with the less facial expressions and whatnot. So I think both sides now, if they're listening, if they're watching, they can come back to the debate table with a tweaked candidate and with a tweaked demeanor. We're going to have to leave it there, though. Sebastian Gorka, thank you very much for your time. Ameshia Cross, thank you very much for your time.